in today's call, I thought it would be really cool. I'm actually going to be speaking this fall down in Tampa at an event, and we were talking about some different ideas around AI and some of the tools that we developed. But also have been asked quite a few times to also speak on time management, time maximization. So I wanted to give you guys a framework, if you will, that I use quite often. And let me share my screen here so you guys can see this. And this is out of my time maximization presentation. You guys should be able to see this now on the screen. And you'll notice here that there are 4 quadrants to this, right? So there's the ignore, non-urgent, urgent, and emergent. So what I wanted to share with you guys today is a way that you can be a better firefighter, right? As a small business owner, you're always running around, you're always putting out fires. There's always, a million things left to do on your to-do list at the end of the day. And I wanted to take a quick moment to kind of break down how I categorize tasks and how I prioritize throughout my day and when things pop up. So the first one is E, which is emergent. I dictate anything that being emergent as something that needs to be handled in the next 24 hours. Okay. So between now and the next 24 hours, I would like to say, like, this is like if your building was on fire, that's probably a now problem, right? If the building next door to you is on fire, maybe not as much of a now problem. Maybe that can be a problem tomorrow. Like, did our building get any damage? Do we need to open up again? Like, can we be open, right? So emergent is today, the next 24 hours, and you need to look at these tasks. The next one is urgent, which is I dictate as next 48 hours. Is it something that I can push to tomorrow if I need to? The third one is non-urgent. Non-urgent is it doesn't need to be immediately handled, not today, not tomorrow, but I need to assign a deadline to it. And then lastly is ignore, okay? And so I'm gonna run through these and kind of double click on them. And again, I've got the chat up, so please, as you guys are hanging out with me today, if you have questions or anything like that, let me know in the chat, or feel free to interrupt me and ask questions. You can unmute yourselves. But the reason why this system is so important, especially for business owners, is that we can't create urgency around everything inside of the business all of the time, right? And so we have to have some type of a prioritization system. Otherwise, if everything in the business applies the same pressure to us, one, it'll absolutely drive you mad. But secondly, we never really get around to doing the things that actually move the needle in the business, okay? And so what do I mean by this? Your inbox is the perfect place to start, okay? It was Brendan Bouchard said one time, I was at a conference that he was at. He said, your inbox is a priority list for the rest of the world. Okay. So what's sitting in your inbox is stuff that the rest of the world needs from you. And one of the biggest challenges that I see that face small business owners is that they operate their entire day with no structure. They run from one appointment to the next appointment with no strategic initiatives whatsoever. And they're just reactionary all day long. When you do this, the downside is that if you're reactionary all day long, then you do not control the day controls you, right? And so if we're reacting to our team members, if we're reacting to our customers, I've met some business owners that, like, they're reactionary to whatever the news cycle is, right? Like, they wake up, the market's down, it's a bad day. They wake up, the market's up, it's a good day. You have to be more mentally tough than that, and you need systems in place, more importantly, that will help you structure your day so that doesn't happen, okay? And so I started out with this actually in my landscaping business, my very first business. And I know this is probably, let me see if I can go slideshow here. Can you guys let me know in the chat? Can you still see this? I just went full screen to try to make it a little bigger for you guys. Somebody let me know. Just type a Y in there in the chat. Let me know if you guys can still see myself and the screen. Yes, cool. Thanks, Amy. So I actually started out with this in my landscaping business back in the day. And you guys see here, needs responded to within 24 hours, 48 hours of the deadline, needs responded to with the attached deadline. I actually took this externally. So I took this to my customers, all of my big landscaping accounts that I had, and I said, hey, due to a high workload, my company is implementing some changes in the name of efficiency. We are requesting that all communication be prefaced with one of the following classifications to help us better serve you. So E if it's emergent, U if it's urgent, NU if it's non-urgent. From now on, I'll be checking and responding to emails twice daily, once at noon, once at 4 p.m. Eastern. If you require emergent assistance, please ensure it is emergent. That cannot wait until either 12 p.m. or 4 p.m. Please contact my cell phone number. I put my cell phone in there via text message. If your request is operations-based, please send it here. If your request is administrative-based, please send it here. And thank you for your understanding this more efficiency and effective as it helps me accomplish more to serve you better. Okay. It's not a bad thing to structure and run your business better. It is actually a net gain for your customers. And it also keeps you from being a firefighter. Okay. We cannot react in our business to a 7-alarm fire the same way we do a small little trash can fire. Are you guys tracking me on this? And so this is where this comes in. And so you have to figure out what are some situations that may happen, right? Maybe emergent is like, hey, one of my, customers just like had an accident, right? If you're in the insurance space, maybe they totaled their car, right? Maybe if you're in the roofing space, hey, one of my customers, their roof just started leaking. So like we have a 24-hour response time to leaky roofs to patch it and get it stopped, right? If you're a dog walker, like Fido passed away last night, cool, maybe send some condolences. But what isn't emergent is a customer needing to update information, right? Now, you might say, no, DJ, that is emergent. Okay, cool. It's emergent in the business, but it's not emergent for you. And that's where I'm trying to help you as a business owner to be more efficient. You'll notice here, I said, hey, listen, if your request is emergent and it's operations-based, here's Robert, that's his information. If it's admin-based, here's Bridget, here's her information, right? And then it's the responsibility of your customer that if they don't reach out to the right person, if they don't show up to, the conversation in the proper way, that's their fault, not yours. You cannot let clients dictate how great of a day or how bad of a day you're going to have. If you do, you could create a miserable life for yourself. All right. And so like we had this happen recently with one of our clients. The customer cancels out. I follow up. They're like, yeah, I just don't think the product works. I go back and look and like the guy had missed 3 support calls in a row. Like literally set up the call to go through the account to talk to him about what needs to happen, the strategies and everything. It didn't show up. 80% of life is showing up, guys, right? Showing up and being ready and being committed. And so I think by institutionalizing a priority system into your business, you'll be able to gain more clarity. So let me go back to that inbox. Now, I love Dan Martell's Buy Back Your Time. You guys know I'm a huge Dan Martell fan. And his book, Buy Back Your Time, highly recommend you read it if you haven't done it yet. Let me know in the chat if anybody in here has read that book. But in there, he has a system, he calls it the inbox GPS system of like how to organize your inbox. And so for the sake of privacy, I'm not going to show you my inbox, but on the left-hand side, we have folders or labels. We use Gmail. You can do the same thing in Outlook, but the first folder is DJ. So like it's stuff that DJ, these are like financial reports, things like that, stuff that I need to get to, but I don't necessarily need to respond, right? Christine, my assistant, is just saying, hey, you need to get your eyeballs on this. The second one is things I need to respond to. So there is a request from a client, request from a prospect that needs my attention, needs my response, right? So there's a to review folder. The next one is responded to. So it's kind of a volley. Like after I've responded to someone, it goes responded to, and then that way I don't lose it, right? You don't want to, if you just like completely remove the label, then it like goes away forever. And then it's hard to keep track of. Maybe you want to follow up on it later. So you put that in the responded to folder. And then like Christine has her other set of folders where she organizes things. So like on a monthly basis, or if I needed financial documents, like there's a financials folder that everything gets categorized into. And then what Christine does is she sweeps the inbox multiple times a day, right? She's in there checking it. If a customer or someone reaches in, maybe you guys have even seen this message, Christine, if she gets to it before I do, she responds and says, hey, Mr. Prospect, hey, Mr. Client, I'm Christine, DJ's assistant. I got to this email before he did. I thought you might appreciate a speedy response. I've marked this for his review. Please let me know if there's anything else I can do for you, right? That way, if like the customer really is like, no, I need to talk to DJ right now, he's got a response. It's not bad customer service. They're not waiting for me. But guys, sometimes I go a day or two without getting into my inbox. Because typically what will happen also, here's like, this is kind of the cheat code piece. If you have a really good EA, a really good executive assistant, I'm inside of Alley, like we use our app, right? And so if someone sends me a message, an email, and it needs a response, and Christine's like, this seems a little time sensitive, right? Like maybe me and that person was going back and forth, but now I'm like out, right? I'm done with my inbox for the morning or whatever. Christine will take a screenshot and send it to me, and I can just voice memo her what to say back to the person. And so I don't even have to go into the inbox. I don't even have the chance of getting distracted, right? Because if you're like me, you go into that inbox to write that one response. Next thing you know, you look up, 15 minutes is gone. You're like, wow, how am I on this website? Oh, wait, I responded to the email, saw a different email, half drafted that, went to go do some research. That led me down a rabbit hole. Now I'm on this website that I didn't even plan on being on today, right? And so I tell you this because I fight it myself, but structure is your friend. And I think that with agentic AI, hopefully you guys know what that means. That's like if you have like an AI agent, Cursor is one of these. There's several of them out there. ChatGPT has one now that's called Operator, and it essentially allows you to use AI to like work on the internet for you, right? I was playing around with it and like had it make like a social media post for me. It was pretty crazy. But I think that's coming down the pipeline to where that personal assistant will get replaced by an AI agent that literally can go in there and do all of that for you. But the number one time thief that I typically find in small businesses, especially if you have less than 5 employees, is your email inbox. You guys spend so much time. I'll tell you guys a quick funny story. Roy Weeks was one of my very first bankers. And when I like started getting like just obsessed with this time maximization stuff in my 20s, I read the 4-Hour Work Week, which is a really cool book. It's got a ton of principles in there. Be curious to see if anybody's ever read that one as well as Buy Back My Time. But I went to Roy and I said, Roy, why don't you have an assistant, dude? You're like number 4 in the bank. He's like, they're not going to pay for an assistant. I'm like, why don't you pay for an assistant? He's kind of chuckled like, at the time, I think I'm like 26. He's probably like, you don't know what you're talking about, kid. I said, well, man, how many hours do you spend on your inbox? And he's like, oh, DJ, it's not that much time. I don't spend that long in my inbox. And like we calculated it back up and kind of reverse ROI'd the time. And it was like 47 hours a year he spent checking email. That was just checking. That was not responding. That was like, man, I spend 15 minutes each day just kind of like filtering through emails, cleaning out my inbox, right? 15 minutes a day didn't seem like a lot, but like, let's just do the math on that, right? And this is an arbitrary number. I can't remember what he told me because this was 10 years ago. But if it's 15 minutes times 5 days a week, that's 75 minutes. 75 minutes times 50, let's just say 50 weeks a year. That's 37. Divide that by 60. That's 62 and a half hours. So if you spend 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week, checking your email, at the end of a work year, you have literally spent 62 hours or the equivalent of a little over a full work week. Like, now how insane is it, right? And like Roy, that's when Roy's like, his mind went, because I'm like, Roy, a whole week and a half a year, you're just sitting at your computer, right? Like checking that. But because we do it in 15-minute increments, nobody thinks about it. Nobody sees it as a thief of our time. But dude, that's like a week vacation you could take, right? So I want you guys to really think about that, because as a business owner, man, when I'm coaching businesses, especially if they bring me in to do like on-sites, like in their office with them and their team members, like the efficiencies or lack thereof, the inefficiencies are really like one of the biggest pieces where it's like I can make a big shift, right? Like if we can increase efficiency, all things else can stay the same. Your close rate can stay the same. Your appointment rate can stay the same. Your number of leads can stay the same. Your meetings can stay the same. But if I make you more efficient, you by definition will have a higher output, right? So that's why we're talking about this system today in today's coaching call. Okay. So emergence 24 hours. I'm like, that's easy to think about. Urgent 48 hours, non-urgent with the deadline. The deadline piece here is the kicker. Here's a word track for you. Somebody asks you for something. Okay. I don't care what it is. Make it up. If someone asks you for something and it comes through as an email or a text message, say, cool, right? If Amy reaches out to me and says, DJ, I'd love for you to make a video for me to play for my team training on Monday morning. I'm like, cool, Amy, what's the absolute last drop dead date I can get that to you? It's like, well, it's Thursday. I need it for my training on Monday. Right? It's like, cool. So then I got to decide, do I take that to an urgent task, meaning I got to do it in the next 2 days, or do I take it all the way to ignore and deny the request? And you guys are like, deny the request? Tell my customers no. What? Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely. Hey, Amy, thank you so much for inviting me to come speak with your team, make a quick video for you to share. I look forward to motivating them and pumping them up. However, right? However, that's the pivot word. However, unfortunately, my schedule does not allow it this week. In order for me to meet your deadline by Monday morning, please let me know if there's another date that I could do that for you. Oh yeah, DJ, we have them every Monday all year long. Just anytime you can get me that video. Cool, right? There's the real deadline, right? So like Amy has her deadline, but then there's actually my deadline based on my calendar. You guys can operate this exact same way. You don't have to be a ball picker-upper every single day. You don't have to be a firefighter every single day. Start ignoring or saying no to more things. I had a mentor tell me, DJ, the way to get to 0 to 1 million is to say yes to everything. How you get from 1 million to 10 million is saying no to everything except for what moves that needle. Okay. And so as we work around that, ask for deadlines, put deadlines on everything. Do this with your team members as well. This is a cheat code on how you can hold them accountable. If you need a report from somebody, it needs to go in there. I have a recurring scheduled piece on my calendar that is the monthly commission report and payout, right? And so like that comes through on the 14th of every single month. So yesterday it was on my calendar, right? Do this, build more structure. If you build more structure, you guys will become more efficient. All right. Any questions on any of that? I'll take a quick pause there, get a sip of water. Let me know if anybody has any questions or if you have anything to add. Happy to hear that as well. Quiet bunch today. Come on, nobody? Nobody? All right. Moving on then. You pull this down here. You guys think this is an efficient office? So these are real pictures, right? No. How about this one? Post-it note central. Anybody have post-it notes? Anybody a user of post-it notes? Got post-it notes everywhere? Amy said that. Let's what Amy's like, how'd you get in my office to take that picture? Let me show you guys this cool little tool. It's called Google Keep. It's the kryptonite, I think, of a sticky note. There's a couple of things that I love about Google Keep, okay? You can use personal notes. Let me take that full slide again so it's a little easier to read. Boop. There we go. You can put personal notes in here, but you also can do collaborative notes. And I'll open this up in a second and show you guys. There's multiple formats. So audio, photo, you can do list, you can do drawings. It really kind of helps you stay organized a lot better than just throwing stuff into a real long running notes tab. I like Google just because we run on the Google platform. So like we have Google Workspace and all of my team are like in our Google business account. It's color coded, so it helps you stay organized. And it is a to-do list in a sense that keeps teams on track. So I'll show you guys in here. You guys can actually add team members to the to-do list. So like in Google Keep, there is a way that you can add collaborators. And so like I have a Google Keep note, if you will, for each team member. And so what happens is now, instead of me interrupting their day, right, because I use this system, if we go back, let me back this up here. If we go back to the system, I use this system as well, right? Some of you guys disrupt your employees too many times throughout the day, right? Some of you all interrupt your employees too many times throughout the day. And so that's where the inefficiency is. You're the problem, not your team, right? And so what I do is, like, in this Google Keep note, I will write down ideas that I have. So, like, here's an example one, right? Buy beer for Saturday, groceries, like those are your personal ones. But like, if I have something that I need to say to Amanda or Andy or Kevin or anybody on the team, I have a specific note for each one of those. And I can then decide, like, is this something I need to send them a message on when I have time to send them a message about it? Is it something that waits for their weekly one-on-one? Yes, I do weekly one-on-ones with my entire team. Or is it something that, like, actually is even bigger than that, needs to wait for a performance review, right? Maybe it's something that has come up that I'm like, I need to put that in the performance review when we do those, or the heading adjustments. Super, super powerful. The other thing that's really cool about it is it has the capacity to set time, to set reminders, both time and location based, right? And so, like, if you forget to take your trash out on Thursdays, like I always do, then you set a note reminder based on location. So when you come home from work on Thursdays and you get close to your house, it pops up a notification that says, hey, reminder, take out the trash. It's trash day, right? We got to get that out to the curb, right? So just a couple examples there of what you guys can use on the notes. All right. David said, I'm real OCD for keeping my desk in order. When I go into some of my employees' office, I start cleaning up their stuff. Yeah, I love that, dude. That's funny. And Mayra says sometimes using the notes. So cool. Gabrielle says, looks like mine. Look, I put the messy desk picture up, gets more engagement out of anything today from you guys. You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. All right, cool. So we're almost to the bottom of the hour. I want to pivot. I want to show you guys. Let me know any questions. Happy to debrief anything you guys got in that on there. You could drop that in on the quote from the training part of today's call. But I want to show you guys a new feature that is now available to all of you guys in the Alley app. So let me stop share screen, go over here. All right. Oh, no, it's kryptonite an app. No, it's the kryptonite of the sticky note. So it's like the sticky note's worst enemy. It's called Google Keep. So if you just type in, I think it's, let me double check this. I think it's just keep. It's just keep.google.com. So keep.google.com. I know some of you guys like have like weird browsers and whatnot. But like I keep my level 10 notes in here. I keep my issues list notes in here. I have my goals that I read every morning in there. Like I have a spiritual note that like has a bunch of like Bible verses that I really enjoy. So like if I need a little like juicing up, like I can go in there and read those. Really, really cool stuff, man. It's like, what's really neat with this is that the more stuff that you guys can digitize, the better off you're going to be as AI continues to grow. Okay. And so I'm just encouraging you to get to that place as fast as you humanly can. All right, let me move this over. You guys should be able to see my test account here in Alley. Let me know if you guys can see that. Give me a quick thumbs up. And all right, so at the top, you guys, this is what your account looks like when you log in. So if you log in, app.carroll.media. Also, if you guys aren't aware, the new website is up. Just kidding. Yep, just kidding. There it is. So we just launched our new website, kind of a refresh, restating our mission, and then also just tying in Alley together. Some of you guys have been with us for a really, really long time. Some of you all have just started with us recently. So you're like, Alley is all you know. But as we continue to move from like a Facebook ads agency and we move over to this ad platform, this AI platform that is doing everything for you, I want to make sure you guys truly understand like the scope of what we're building over here and how it's going to be revolutionary for you. Obviously, Alley's like your first AI team member. Like that's what we're doing. That's what we're building. And she has these power-ups with her, right? So let me go to the Allie page so I can talk about this for a quick second. This is like, call it Allie's brain. I don't know. We haven't come up with a word for it. Happy to have your all's input. But for the longest time, a lot of clients have came in through having us do Facebook ads, right? That makes sense. That's what we've done for the longest time. I remember first Facebook ad in 2013, right? And so, we've allowed clients to easily create and launch targeted ads across Meta platform, namely, but all social media channels. Okay. What has changed? What has changed is we developed this AI lead detection technology. And I'm sorry, if you are a captive agent with a corporate site, there's limits and restrictions on being able to use our technology. But if you have your own standalone website, you probably have AI detect in there where we identify anonymous website visitors. But where we're moving to and what we're building is going so much bigger than this. We're basically going to a full circle hub where we can identify these leads for you. We can sync them into your CRM. We can nurture them with personalized emails, text messages, and ringless voicemails. Allie also has a voice capability, which I'm going to share with you guys at the end of the call, something that you can try out and give us some feedback on. And then obviously most of you have an AI powered dashboard that you can go in and check your numbers, and then the ads that we run to then drive more website traffic. Okay. So this kind of works in a loop feature. So a lot of you on the call right now, you probably are just using the AI ads at this point. Totally okay. Nothing wrong with that. We love you guys. We're happy that you're here. But what we're doing and where we're moving to and what the shift that you'll see to happen is you're going to see Allie taking over more and more of what you used to talk to a human in my business to do. Now, I need your feedback on this because a lot of the stuff we roll out in beta, but this is the new one up here at the top. It's called Talk to Allie. And so we've built out her knowledge base. You guys can see in here, I was playing around with it. I've chatted with her quite a bit. But Allie, if you use ChatGPT, if you use Grok, if you use any platforms, it's going to operate in the same way. It's a chat bot, but she's crazy wicked smart. The knowledge base file just on her brand alone is over 16 pages. So let's just ask her, hey, Allie, who inspires you? And let's see what she says. So it'll take a second because you with the chat GPT, you kind of see it as it's typing. We didn't have that capabilities as we were building this out. So you're going to get the whole message at once whenever she responds back to it. So it's a little slower. We're working on that. That is a tweak that I've already identified. Yeah, I draw inspiration from countless small business owners who hustle every day to turn their dreams into reality. Their resilience, creativity, and determination to pride their communities are truly motivating. Here to support your journey, hope you succeed. Who inspires you, right? And so what we've done here is we're moving to a place where Allie is your first AI team member. And I want you guys to add your team members to your Allie account. We don't charge anything for that right now. Down the road, we might have to move to like a seat type of assignment, cost per seat. But I want you to get your team members in here so that they can use this. It's super powerful. If they need help writing emails, if they need help writing social media posts, if you guys have brand guidelines, like I took one of our contracting companies here and I did the brand guidelines that we had and I fed it into Allie and was like, hey, help me write some content, right? Like, hey, I have an image of me on a roof. Can you help me write a post? Look, here we go. On top of quality, boom, with call to actions and everything. So again, she's helping you guys. I know some of you are in different levels, and so maybe we're posting for you. We use Allie internally as well. And so I'm super excited about this feature. Again, up in the top right-hand corner, all you got to do is just click on Talk to Allie, connect with her. It'll have this button that'll pop up. It'll say Start Chat, and you'll be off to the races. Please let me know. Give me feedback. Always open to hear how you guys are using this, how it can help you. But you literally can have her. She's instructed to help you guys. She knows that she's working with small business owners and she wants to help you all. So super excited about that. The other thing that I'm really excited about, I'll drop this into the chat real quick. Go grab this phone number. Is we just launched Allie's AI powered. Sorry, I'm trying to talk and click and navigate at the same time. Doesn't work well for me. We launched her AI powered brand discovery. So essentially you can call in and talk to her. The call will probably take anywhere between 5 to 15 minutes. And essentially, she's going to ask you a bunch of questions, brand discovery questions about your business. If you've never done any type of brand discovery, if you've never worried about building your brand, or if you've never focused on like your core pillars and things like that, I would highly, highly recommend you try this out. Now, she is in beta testing still, so please give me feedback. Let me have a tight feedback loop. If she says something off the wall, or if it disconnects too early, please let me know. But I am typing this phone number, 7236. I'm putting that number in the chat. So if you want to copy that down on a notepad, feel free to call her. You can call her after this call. You can call her at 1 o'clock in the morning. That's the beauty of having an AI team member, is they are always on, right? They're never in trouble. They're never late. They're always on. And so highly recommend you guys do that. And what will happen is Allie will give us that information. We'll build a brand guideline document for you that you then can share with the team, which is really, really cool. One of the challenges that founders often have is that they try to get alignment with their team, right? Because like we have all this up here. As the founder, as the business owner, as the top person in charge, we have all these ideas, and like we can see the picture so clearly. Like sometimes we're like, what do you mean, team member? You don't get it. Like, look, it's right there, right? But you have to realize that's your special tool as an entrepreneur. Like that's your special skill, is that you can look down and around corners when other people can't, right? So building things like this, like brand guidelines and core values and missions and purpose statements, and sharing those with your team often and regularly is super important, because it allows for a cohesion to happen inside of the business to where everybody's rowing in the same direction. So I want to give that out to you. We charge $1,000 to do that brand discovery. Like if I'm going to come in, lead that call, have my head designer on it, have an account person on it, have our creative director on it, like it's $1,000 call for us to go through that process. So we're testing this out with Allie now so we can make it more accessible to clients. So since you guys are on the coaching call today, I was super excited to be able to offer that out to you. You can check that out. So cool. We ran through the time maximization. We ran through the new chat with Allie feature. Showed you guys the website. You've got the phone number in the chat to do the brand discovery. We've got about 10 more minutes left. I want to open it up for Q&A. And we'll take some questions until we run out of time here. Which, by the way, Marcus Smith, that picture is both very, very interesting, attention-grabbing, and somewhat frightening as well. So I like that little cartoon character you got. Cool, guys. Q&A. Let's go. Who's got a question? All right, Gabriella, how will this be limited, maximized for us captive agents? So great question. I think that Gabriella, you've heard me say this before, is that people buy insurance from people, not from companies, okay? And so I think it's important that you guys still have your own brand. So like if you're playing for Big Red, like sure, your brand colors are probably still red, white, gray, and black, right? But how are you building your business locally, right? Are you veteran owned? Are you woman owned? Do you have certain initiatives that you help out? How do you show up? How do you want to be seen by your customers, right? These are questions that Allie will ask you, and they're very thought-provoking, right? Like you got to take some time to actually think about these. But having the whole process really is like, you guys ever heard that like the magic's in the process, not the output? That's what these sessions will do, right? They will give you these feedbacks, and then we'll give you a brand document, brand guideline that you can always use. And it's like, you can use it for like, if you go to the local Little League team and they're like, hey, put a banner out in right field, like, we'll design it for you. Instead of just saying, okay, sure, here's $500 and like not knowing what that banner is going to look like. It's like, cool, here's my $500. And all that I ask is that you match our brand guidelines. Here they are. Right. And so it gives other vendors, external sources, things to go off of. And then also like I said, it builds that cohesion inside of the team. Now, one of the pieces, if that's on the brand piece, if you're asking how to use Allie, if we get you in the account to talk with her, is like they can use them for all kinds of things, right? Ask Allie, say, hey, here's 9 things I got on my to-do list today. Like, which ones do you think I should start with, right? Like, It is built on top of OpenAI's platform with lots and lots of training on top of it. So it's not just like a wide open chat GPT model that who knows what you're going to get. We've literally limited her to speak in a certain way with certain tonalities to work in a certain function. And so, you guys can use that for your team members. And again, please do not be the company that in 2025 says, I don't need that AI stuff. That stuff's not important. It doesn't matter. It's not going anywhere, right? You're going to be like the plumber in 2006 who still thought he didn't need a website because the internet was a fad. Okay. I don't want you guys to fall behind because you will. There's this weird like belief system right now that the internet and social media and artificial intelligence is leveling the playing field, and they couldn't be further from the truth. Like, this is like my, unpopular opinion is that when the internet happened, access occurred, access to information, and it became disproportionate. The people that didn't use the internet got further behind, and the people that did use the internet got further ahead. Okay. Social media was the next one. That was the attention wave. There's these three technological waves that happen for small business owners, right? The first one was access. The second one was attention. The third one is artificial intelligence happening right now. But when that access one came, got stretched. When the attention one came, which was social media, people built brands and people didn't build brands, right? And like the most simplistic example I can give you is my power washing business. Like, people kept running ads in the newspaper. DJ went and figured out Facebook ads and was getting customers for less than $20 a piece, right? Disproportionate. Artificial intelligence is happening now. I have Allie answering the phones at my small business that I still run. Like, a lot of you guys don't know that I have this power washing business. I keep it up and running because it's basically a lab rat for Carroll Media. And so like when I come up with stuff, I go and inject it. I'm like, that killed the lab rat. Probably shouldn't do that, right? It's like, oh, inject Allie onto the phone system. Now Allie answers my phones. Guess what, guys? For 3.5 weeks, we haven't missed a single phone call. What's even cooler is everything's transcribed, everything's recorded. And now I actually had a vendor call. It was a guy who was trying to sell insurance to us, right? He was like trying to quote our general liability. He said, it's so much fun. About 5 responses, right? So Allie answers phone and says, hey, it's a great day. It's a great day at Easy Pro. My name's Allie. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with? The guy says his name. They go back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. The guy's like, oh, actually, I was trying to talk to somebody about their general liability insurance. She's like, okay, I can take a message, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes, wow, this is like really good AI. Like, the guy's saying this on the call while he's talking to Allie. And so like the future's here, guys. The future is coming, and it's super, super important. Marcus says, FYI, oh, the headshot's it's not computer generated, but digitally drawn, and it's part of my marketing. Huh, interesting. That's cool. Nice. All right. So hopefully that gives you guys some stuff on like how you guys now, Gabriella, let me tell you how you'll be limited. We just got access. Like, I know State Farm is like, you guys can't use ChatGPT, you can't use OpenAI. I guess you guys have like an internal AI bot that you're allowed to use. So you're going to be limited on that. But unfortunately, like captive insurance agents aren't our only customers. And so like, as I continue to build this business, I know it's a big part of our business, but like some of the stuff that we build that's really, really cool, you guys just aren't going to be able to use it, unfortunately. So Kristen said, not related to AI, but what kind of content should I be posting on LinkedIn? Great question. Kristen, on LinkedIn, it's knowing the audience, right? The audience there is more professional, more white collar. What I have found with my content, which I think is the best advice I can give you, is like the numbers I have. Vertical video under indexes, which I thought, man, when we started posting verticals like reels over on LinkedIn, I was like, these are going to fucking crush because nobody ever posts video on LinkedIn. Like, this is going to kill it. Nobody ever posts video on LinkedIn because people are sitting in offices when they're on LinkedIn, right? Or they're at the beginning of their day. So they're not really listening to video. And they're not really like wanting these like short clips, right? Their attention span is a lot longer. And so like our video, short form videos actually don't do as well on LinkedIn as they do in other platforms. What does perform well is long written out content. Now, whether you use Allie to help us write that, and here, we'll have a fun little example. Let's see what she comes up with. Again, this was, I pumped in something from like a contracting business we were working at. So I'm just going to say, great, thanks. Can you help me write a LinkedIn post about commercial roofing? So we'll see what she comes up with. Ideally, the post should be a little bit longer. It should be a little more professionally written. And then ideally, you should be talking directly to that customer. So like if you guys, Christian, remind me, who are you with? Are you Allstate, Farmers, State Farm? State Farm. So, I'm not sure how you guys do business insurance, but so, look, business, whether you're managing a retail space, office building, industrial facility, blah, 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 expensive or expertise, da, 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 da. If there's a hashtags in, here's where you guys get really fun with this creative. Can you give me an artificial story woven into that? And also, don't be afraid to beat up on her when you're in here. It's like, that's terrible. Make it better. Make it better. Make it better. Like, that's one of the powers. 3 little kind of like feedback loops on AI. Like, there's 3 levels, I guess, of usage. First is like using it as a glorified Google prompt. So if you're just like, hey, ChatGPT, what should I have for dinner today? It's like, that's not great, right? Like you shouldn't be doing that. That's like rookie level stuff. You're going to lose. The next one is analysis. So like data analysis, it can read a lot faster, interpret data a lot faster. So you can use it for data analysis. And then the best one is like feedback loops of like, hey, give me the best prompt to give you, right? So that's super powerful. So look at this. So Elevate, I recently had the opportunity to work on a commercial roofing project for a local bakery that had been struggling with leaks and water damage. Wow. Okay. That's a lot more connected, right? Sarah, blah, blah, blah. And again, what you guys can do is you can tell Allie a true story about somebody's house burning down, a car crashing, whatever may happen. But then with the thing of saying like, hey, don't, change the names and the dates and some of the details so that my client doesn't realize like I'm sharing their story, right? So it's like weaving in stories are super, super powerful. You guys can see how this hook right here, right? I recently had the opportunity to work on a commercial roofing project for a local bakery that had been struggling with leaks and water damage. Is a lot stronger hook than me talking about myself, right? At Stevenson Contract, we understand a solid roof is crucial to any business, right? It still keeps it here, but we're just throwing a better hook at the beginning. Stories always, and this, Kristen, this goes across any platform. Stories will always outsell just, copy of like sell. That's where Gary V's, jab, 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 right hook comes from. So hopefully that helps you. Let me know. And we're almost to the 50-minute mark. Maybe you got time for another question in here. Shout out to you guys for hanging in here with me. This has been fun. This is always the highlight of my month. It's always a good time. And remember, you guys can unmute yourself if it's easier to do that than typing out a long response. Nobody else? Come on, guys. This is like the only opportunity that you get to work with me one-on-one. All right. Easy peasy. I do want to give a quick shout out to Amy. The shorts that you guys are doing, the content that you guys are doing. If you all want a good example of someone that's banging on social media, go check her out. They're doing a great job. Very happy to see what you guys are doing. It's always fun. I do these webinars, I do these trainings. We put together these like crazy wild workbooks. Like this thing's like 86 pages. This is the new one that we just released. Like it's like so fulfilling to me to like see someone when they get it and then they execute, right? I was on David Williams' podcast or interview this, the Talk to the Experts with David Williams. I'll share it out to my social media this evening, but I was telling him that ideas are cool, right? Like they're fluffy, they feel good. We can always ideate more ideas, way to improve things like that. But really nothing happens in the real world until we've executed, right? Like you can think about calling 50 prospects, but until you pick up the phone and actually call 50 prospects, you don't really know if your hypothesis is right. So it's always fun for me to see when you guys execute on this, you put out strategies and you get results from it too, right? Like I see the comments, the engagements that you're getting, Amy. So congratulations. Keep up the good work on that. With that being said, guys, I'll wrap it up. Next month, we may or may not have a call. I'll let you guys know. We're about a week to 2 weeks out of our due date for my son being born, our first baby boy. So super excited about that. So depending on how mama does and how that goes, the coaching call, actually my team may come in and run this coaching call next month. I may not be here. Thanks, David. Appreciate it. Amy, appreciate it, guys, for the congratulations on that. So really, really excited. We have Willow, who's 2. Now we'll have little baby Ever coming in, my namesake, so he'll be the 3rd. I told my wife I'm gonna call him Junior. She didn't like that too much, but he'll be coming here within the next couple of weeks. So appreciate any prayers you guys can send over for a healthy home birth that we're gonna have here on the farm. I don't know how my wife's gonna do it, unmedicated, all natural, but kudos to her, man. She's a bad bitch. I love her to death. So just want to give you guys a heads up on that. Maybe a small pivot for next month's coaching call. But until then, I wish you guys all the best, all the success in the world. And we will catch you guys on the next call. As always, if there's anything that we can do for you guys, please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out. My cell phone number is out there. If you guys need me directly, reach out to me on social. Anything I can do to help. And if you guys have any small groups that you would like for me to come speak to, I'm starting to stack up my fall speaking schedule. Last year, I think we did, I want to say it was 12 cities in 9 weeks. May have that backwards. It might have been 9 cities in 12 weeks. But if you guys have small groups, study groups, or if you want me to speak to your team, please let me know. Happy to do that. Happy to come in, pour out some information, do some training, knowledge, and Q&As. So that being said, we'll talk to you guys real soon. We appreciate you guys' business. Here's to your success. Hustle. It's worth it. Take care.